Let's go back to the critical method getWeatherAsync, which takes that URL, and now we're ready to fill in that method. The very first thing we want to do is handle the communications. We saw this method earlier in the slides, but let's look at it carefully. We're going to start by declaring an HTTP client instance. In order to do that, however, we need a couple new packages. So let's go up and add a package, and we'll go into NuGet and tell NuGet that we need that HTTP package. So we're going to say Microsoft.net.http is the easiest way to get it, and it comes up on top. And we'll take the Microsoft HTTP client libraries and add that package. While we're at it, there they go, we're going to go ahead and get the JSON package. So we're going to come over here and say that we want the Newtonsoft JSON package. And up it comes, and we'll grab that as well. Now we notice that some of these need to be updated. So let's go down and say update NuGet package. With those in place, we can resolve HTTP client, and we're going to instantiate that client. We're going to set the client's base address to a URI based on the URL that we just passed in. And now we have a client with the URL we want. We'll set a local variable response, and here's where the magic happens. We're going to ask the client to get asynchronously the data that we need. And what we're going to pass in as a parameter to get async is the client's base address. That is the URL that we passed in. We can then call responses ensure success status code, which will throw an exception if there's an error. That takes care of getting the data. Now we're going to deal with parsing the data, and for that we're going to use the JSON library. We're going to say to the response, get your content, read that as a string asynchronously, and give me the resulting value, to which we will assign to JSON result. And now we can say that our weather is equal to what happens when you call JSON convert on that JSON string, and then call deserialize object. And deserialize object is going to take the parameter weather result. That's the type that you want to deserialize into, and you pass it the string that we got from read as string. Now that we have our object, our weather object, we can call a helper method setValues and pass that weather object in. So let's create a little helper method that will be called setValues, and we'll take our weather object as a parameter. What we want to do now is create some local variables that are going to pull values out of weather.weatherObservation and whatever the property is, in this case station name. Why weather.weatherObservation? Well, remember how we structured those objects so that we had a controlling object and within it all the details in its object. And so here weather is the controlling object. Weather observation has all of the detailed properties, and notice that we're getting good IntelliSense support on that, which means we're probably on the right track. And the final one here is humidity. So we have the location, the elevation, the temperatures, and the humidity, but we have not yet set our public properties that we're going to bind to in the XAML. So let's go ahead and do that now. Each of the public properties gets set to the value that we pulled out of the JSON.